Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Insecure Season 5, Episode 7, you guys. After this episode, only 3 episodes left, and it's a wrap. It's a wrap, you guys. Anyway, let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, we're going to start with Lawrence's little section first, since it's just a little bit. So him and Condola look like they have settled into a new normal. We know that he have moved back to Los Angeles from San Francisco because the last time that he and Condola spoke, remember the last that we saw, they realized that the setup that they had was not working. So he is back, and it looks like this new setup is working. Looks like Condola let the baby spend the night over at Lawrence's house the night before, and he was returning the baby to his mother. And, you know, she was so happy to see her little boy, and, you know, everything was pleasant between the two of them. I mean, it's just almost like as if things are good. So we don't really know what this means. While Lawrence is there, Condola has some handiwork that needs to be done around the house, and she actually was going to have one of her, somebody else do it, but Lawrence offered, since he was there, he would do it for her. Okay. And she was just sort of like, oh, like, I mean, you got the time. Yes, I'd appreciate it, So sort of like old times. Remember when he would go over there for her dinner parties and all of that? Yeah. I was just like, oh, we losing Lawrence, you guys, we're losing him. Anyway, after he finishes his handiwork, he's still there at the house and helping her, clean up around the house, wash dishes, put them up, folding clothes, and even feeding the baby, doing something together. Okay, this is co-parenting at its best. When she can't get the baby to eat his food, he was like, oh yeah, I use the choo-choo train method. See, choo-choo, it's all worked up in there. Okay, well, let's see how you do it. So he gets up and he's doing the whole little choo-choo-choo. And she says, you're a good father, and he says, thank you, that he appreciates that. Things are just good. Things are just good. He tells her how, the baby is the best thing that ever happened to him. I guess you couldn't have told him that a year ago. But yeah, it is. And she says that while she was pregnant and he wasn't really around, she did contemplate having an abortion. And he was like, I'm so sorry, you shouldn't have been going through all of that on your own. I was an asshole over the summer. He's trying to rectify and do better now. So it looks like that we've met on some common ground, you guys. She said that she wants the best for him, and he told her he wants the best for her as well. And yeah, this was a pleasant visit. And like I said, looks like Lawrence might just be like ready to just try to make it work with Condola. Makes me sad. Issa is having a girls' night. She's having Tiffany, Kelly, and Molly over, and she's got it all set up. When they come, she done already rolled the joints, and look, they got a massage at the spa at 5 o'clock, and then they have dinner reserved at 8 o'clock. Okay, right now we about to pre-game, so drinks and whatever, y'all come on in. Much needed relaxing. You guys know Molly's been stressed with work and with her mother, being sick. So yes, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. So the girls is, they got their weed, they smoking, they go out on the balcony, they taking selfies, the beautiful sunset, all of that. And then Issa gets a call. And she's like, oh shit, oh no. And they're like, what's wrong? Well, the spa had a broken pipe, so now the spa is closed, so they don't have their they don't have their massage at 5, but dinner's still at 8. So what we gonna do? Well, shit, we got time to kill. We all here, let's drink. Okay, turn on some music, let's dance, sing the songs, and let's play a game, questions in the hat. When's the last time we played questions in the hat? So I guess the game is you write your questions out, you put it in the hat, people draw the question, and then you have to answer it. All right, very easy. So the first question is, what's an embarrassing fact that nobody knows about you? And Kelly goes first. She says that she drank 2 Red Bulls a day for like years. She was like, that's the reason why she didn't have a cycle for so long, because of them damn Red Bulls. The next question is a very specific question. Have you ever broke your friend's vase? Issa was like, we not doing that. Okay, Molly was just like, answer the question. Okay, still trying to figure out who broke that face. Next question, if you could spend the rest of your life with the last person that you were with, would you do it? Issa was like, she doesn't know. She don't really know. She said, her and Nathan, they kind of had like a little fight, and now she don't really know where they are. She was like, he told her that she was inconsistent. They was like, no, really? What, girl? She was like, dang, is it like that? Yes, it's like that, Issa. Well, yeah, she does realize she does have some flaws, but now she doesn't know where she and Nathan stand. So while they're in the middle of playing their questions game, there's a knock at the door. And when Issa gets up to go answer it, it's one of her neighbors, of course, complaining that it's a spider in her house. We need the place to get tinted. And Issa was like, how many times I gotta tell you? Spiders are normal. Spiders are everywhere. We cannot tint the apartment because there's a spider. And then it's funny because, what's really good about Insecures is all this side banter that always makes the situation kind of funny. It's just like very random and just side. And of course, Kelly don't get along with her neighbor. Okay. She see a spider. She said, well, I thought I saw a bird, so they get to arguing or whatever. But yes, they do actually the little side banter. Actually, sometimes I think the side banter is more entertaining than the than the regular. Anyways, when Issa goes back into the house, Molly gets a call, and she gets up and she kind of walks away, and everybody is just sort of like, oh, it's Torian. And why is we doing all of this kind of blushing, kind of like smiling, kind of looking like this might be something more than just a regular work call? And so when she gets off the phone, they was like, so since when you get all excited to talk to Torian on the phone? She says, well, they're just both happy because this case that they were both working on, is doing very well. It's working out in their favor. So she's happy about that. They was like, okay, but that seemed like a little bit more than just work happiness. And she was just like, well, just things have been a little different since we got back from the retreat. And she says, well, things have been a little different since we got back from the retreat. Okay. They was like, we knew it was something. She was like, yeah, it was just like, now they kind of see each other a little differently, and they seem to go right up to the edge of the line. Like they walk up to it, but they never cross the line. She was like, should I give them the green light? I was like, girl, why not? Shit. Sometimes the man in your dreams is right up under your nose. So then next question, if you had one do-over, who would it be? And Tiffany says, you know what, actually she's really good with Derek. Where they are in their relationship, she doesn't feel like she would want to be with anybody else. Issa says that she wishes that she knew what she wanted to do earlier in her life, kind of feel like she wasted some years trying to figure it out. Kelly says, well, on her job she just needed some clarity on some shit, and she realized that she was tired of making rich white men richer. Next question, if you had to choose which one of your friend's exes would you fuck? Okay. This is one of those questions that I'd be like, honey, none of them. I ain't even gonna say not one name, but I guess it's all in fun. So they was tossing around Issa's past men. Okay, they said Marshawn. All right, and then somebody said Daniel. I said, oh, there go the D word that we all been looking for. She was like, y'all thought that Daniel was fine. Yes, honey, Daniel was all of that. That's what they said. When Lawrence's name comes up, when Kelly mentions Lawrence's name, Lisa says, well, funny you should mention his name. I bumped into him and Condola at the hospital. Looks like he's moved back. I mean, it's no big deal. It was clear, they're going to try to work it out. They do have a baby and all of that. She just kind of feel like she didn't really have the closure that she wanted with Lawrence. So now she's starting to feel like kind of guilty about the way that things ended. And Molly was just like, girl, don't worry about that. You were smart. Okay, that's not what you wanted in your life. And Tiffany was just like, well, wait a minute. Who says that what you always want in your life is the smartest thing? It doesn't have to be the smartest thing. It just has to be what works best for you. I said, I know that's right. Okay, not saying that Issa need to just be trying to run back to Lawrence or anything, but what I've learned over the years is you cannot always try to make sure that you do what's best for everybody else around you. In other words, when people are watching you, sometimes you feel pressured to make a decision that maybe that's not what you felt was best for you, but you did it anyway because you didn't feel like hearing other people's mouth. You have to be true to yourself and make the decision that's going to be the best for you and whatever that other person is, and that is it. Okay, now it's probably the best decision for Issa not to be with Lawrence because she didn't want to have to deal with the whole baby mama thing going on. But I hope that's exactly how she feels about it. It's hard to say with Issa because she's always just so undecided, you know, that you can never really tell if she really truly means what she says and does half of the time. So, you know, what Tiffany said made a whole lot of sense. Later on, they're getting dressed to go out to eat. Everybody's got on their nice clothes, nice shoes. You know, Tiffany's impressed with Issa's sandals. And then Tiffany lets everybody know that she and Derek are moving to Denver. And they was like, what? And she was just like, yeah, we're moving. He got offered a job position. Everything is happening so quickly. We're going to be moving out there. You know, we do have some family out there. And, you know, she's just trying to be the supportive wife. But she's nervous. And they're like, why? And she says, because, like, what if she wants to have another baby? And what if she gets depressed again? And, you know, they're like, don't worry about it. We're going to be there. You know, we'll be on the first plane out there. Poor little Tiffany. She's worried about everything, but they assure her that they'll still be together, even if she's way out in Denver. Now that she's gotten emotional about this move, it's kind of put a damper on the night. It's 7:40. Remember, their reservations is for 8 o'clock. Do we even really feel like going now? You know, we don't really have to go. We can just have some more drinks, stay here, take these clothes off, and chill. Okay? And that's what we decide to do. So we break out the yoga mats. Okay? Kind of gives you this a whole Waiting to Exhale 2.0. Remember when the girls in Waiting to Exhale was all over at Bernadine's house and they were getting drunk in the living room and tried to crank call people? Okay, this kind of scene kind of reminded me the same thing. Not crank call, but Bernadine wanted to call Bernadette wanted to call her ex-husband's new white bitch, remember? Okay, so they're laying around on the yoga mat smoking. What do you always have to do when you with your girls? Okay, if there's a prospect, let's go on and harass him. So they were like, let's text Torian. Okay, and Molly was like, oh no. It's like, you know, we just gonna text him. And she was like, well, what are we supposed to say? Just text him that I was wondering if we can get together and hang out sometime, you know, outside of work. So when Molly is looking at her phone and then she holds her phone up to Issa, like, do that look like that's gonna be okay? Well, she decided to type and her phone was ringing and it was Dro. And Issa was like, what's Dro doing calling you? And she was like, oh my God, I don't know. Why is he calling me? Maybe he's just checking to see if my mom is okay. But she didn't answer the phone. I said, okay, good for you, Molly. Because, honey, we knew that Dro had a pull on her with his married ass. So then after that, Issa gets her phone and she's about to text Lawrence. And Molly was like, girl, what are you doing? She's like, I'm about to text Lawrence. And she was like, why? Okay, remember earlier we was talking about that whole inconsistency thing? Okay, you're doing it again. All right, what exactly are you trying to get out this conversation with Lawrence? Listen, if the sober you wants to still talk to Lawrence tomorrow, then you go on and text him then. But right now, let's put this on the back burner. And so Issa decided not to text Lawrence. Probably a good idea, considering he was over at Condola's house. Now, the next morning, rise and shine, everybody leaves, goes back home, and Issa is just around the house, okay, looking at all the mess that was made, all this that she needs to clean up, and she picks up her phone and she sees she has a text message from Nathan. It says, hey, call me when you get a chance. And so she calls him and he says, I wanted to call you last night, but I didn't want to interrupt girls' night. You know, how was it? Did you have a good time? And she was just like, yeah, you know, the girls just left. And so then he was just like, well, Issa, I just wanted to say, you know, I know things have been off between the two of us, but I do love you, Issa. I always have. I was like, oh, y'all know the romantic in me. Oh my God, when he said it, it was just so like he just said it. And I was just like, oh, and you guys know that I ain't even a super Nathan and Issa fan. But when he said that and he was like, I always have, I just, you know, he just never really said that to anybody, never felt that way for anybody. And she was just sort of like, oh, like did not expect him to say that. You know, so then she was like, well, I shouldn't have put all that pressure on you to say anything. And he was just like, no, it wasn't you. It was me. You know, I'm just was being childish. All right, need to be true with my feelings and everything. I was just like, oh, well, maybe this thing is going to have to try to work out with Issa and Nathan. The sad thing about Issa and Nathan and Lawrence and Condola You know, it's sort of like those, the loves that got away. And so you can't really be with the person that you want to be with. And so you end up being with the next best. And I think that that's what Condola and Nathan is. I don't even think that that's what Condola is. I don't even think Lawrence ever really had feelings for her like that. But at least we know Issa has feelings for Nathan like that. But it's still not their first choice. I wonder how many of us are really not our mate's first choice, you know, when you really sit down and think about it, like as life goes on, you know, is this really truly the person that you 100 would have wanted to have been with had it not, you know, had it worked out with somebody else, you know, just an interesting dynamic. But anyway, he was like, I'm about to get off. I got to go to work. He was like, but I love you, Issa. And she was like, I love you too. And I was just like, oh, this is so sweet. So then after that, she's feeling pretty good. Like, okay, you know, we made some progress. He's opening up, letting her know his feelings. And then her phone rings again and child, is Lawrence. I was like, and she doesn't answer the phone. And I was just like, see, that's exactly what I mean. Like, you know, this is the person that you really want to be with, but you really can't be with him because you're not willing to be with him with the circumstances that he has. Okay. I really kind of feel like Lawrence was calling her to make sure that it really is truly over with him and her so that he can completely open himself up to Condola and just try to make that work over there. I mean, he already has a ready-made family over there. He might as well try to make that work. But he still has to get clear that him and Issa are no longer really not going to be able to be together. And like I said, you know, it's not going to work. But what a triangle, huh? What a triangle. But this happens a lot in life. This actually is a very, very true storyline. Like, this really does happen. It's just so, you guys, I'm just so bummed. I'm just so bummed. I mean, Nathan ain't bad, I guess. What y'all think? Y'all think that Nathan is her soulmate? All right, you guys, let me get off of here. I'm going to get this edited and up to you. I just sprayed on my By the Fireplace perfume by Maison Margiela. It's so good, you guys. It is so good. Oh! And when you have it on and then it changes, but it still gives you that smoky fireplace, it's wood burning. It's so nice, you guys. You guys have got to get it. Anyway, let me get off of here because I'm about to be finishing up my lunch break and getting back to work. Okay, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything that I do is going to be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.